Well, music in general excites me, so I don't really care so much what sort of, let's say, the overall acceptance of this music style or any other music style is. I love making music, and my favorite music is electronic music, and that's how I present myself and my music to whoever wants to listen to it. It's actually something that it makes a lot of sense on the second thought. Take a piece of paper and write down why you do what you do, why you want to do this. Because like throughout your career, there will be a lot of ups and downs, things that sort of make you sad and maybe get to your head, whatnot. It's like, that's what a career is like. And in those dull moments, you can always come back and look at this piece of paper, and it's always like an anchor that tells you, okay, I do it because I love making music. And anyway, if there's anything else on that piece of paper, then you should do something else anyway. No, it's actually quite the opposite. If you think about it, it's like back in the day, as an example, if I made a track and I wanted my favorite DJ to play it, there was not really a way for me to just kind of reach out. So now you just kind of send it to the office of your favorite DJ or the record label or whatever. It's much easier to get some exposure. As well, it's like, in the TikTok world we live in, all you need is 10 flashy seconds and you have an audience. So it's not really about, let's say, the longevity of a career, of talent, of creativity anymore, as much as just kind of making a PR splash. So therefore it's much easier now. But if you want to have something that's more sustainable, something that lasts longer than just the 10 TikTok seconds, then you need to want to be a musician at the end of the day. So, but it is definitely easier these days than it was back then. Every time to me feels like kind of a golden moment, So it's like, being able to play my favorite music in front of an audience is just like the best thing, and I'm very, very grateful. What I'm very happy about, it's like, it's kind of out of my hand in a way, but I was right there when all this started to kind of happen. And it was just like this phenomenal thing. You have to understand, it's like there was a time this music it just didn't exist. Whatever we wanted to listen to, we actually had to make ourselves. It's like, we couldn't switch on the radio and there it was, or go online and download whatever song you wanted to hear. It just didn't exist. And that moment, that really fresh start of something brand new, that meanwhile looking back after 30 years is one of the biggest global youth and music cultures in the world. I'm very happy that I lived through it and that I experienced it. The general approach is exactly the same. There's an idea. There's like a feeling I want to bring across. And of course, with the technology at hand these days, it's much easier to do so. I remember somebody asked me the other day, tell us a crazy story about the beginnings. And I just said, it's like, my first hi-hats, the hi-hats you hear in For an Angel, is actually Hairspray. Because I didn't have a drum machine. So if you listen to Hairspray and you do ch, 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 and that's what I did. I sampled it. And then kind of like, put it, and so I was able to play it and program it. And these are the things that sort of obviously shape an artistical approach somehow. It's like, I'm not just going for like the easy, like this thing does a good bass line. I'm looking for things that sort of create something that sort of, is new to me and excites me. Maybe nobody else will ever notice. To them, it might just be a normal hi-hat. But to me, I know I worked for 3 weeks on it and made out of a weird sound a hi-hat or something. It's just like that stuff. I'm a geek at the end of the day if it comes down to music. So, it is a similar creative process, but the technology obviously helps a lot to make things possible. I think it's completely counterproductive. Because the fact is, what makes a drum computer different from a lively groove is the fact that the human programmed the machine to make a lively groove. And an I will only be a drum computer, doing something based on an algorithm, doing something based on something that he learned somewhere. So he cannot really create anything new. And I'm very, very critical if it comes down to that. I'm very pro technology. It's like, I love the whole integration of AI into kind of everybody's life and make life easier. But I think there's no easy way around of being creative, and whoever does it should be ashamed. I think kind of like, obviously I grew up over the years, so it's like, my music definitely has a more mature approach these days than maybe, 30 years ago. But I never really adapted to anything that was trendy or fashionable. I always kind of made the music that I thought I want to make, and I was just like very, very lucky, and as I said before, I'm very grateful for it, that I always found an audience that wanted to listen to what I did. But if I wouldn't have found that audience, I would still make the exact same music, because that's what I do. That's sort of my language. I want to cross the world in a boat. It's just like something, I just find it very, we have such a beautiful planet, and I'm in a very amazing position that I've been able to travel to a lot of places, but there's still so much to discover. And this is something that's sort of really I find inspiring and exciting. And doing it while you have your own bed with you, I think that's actually really cool. The one that's in front of me at my next show, always. If I would have any other sort of approach, then it wouldn't work. Because let's say I play in front of a certain crowd once a year, that means that I do not enjoy all the other shows, but that's not the case. I have a very clear idea about what I want to do when I play, and that's what I'm trying to bring across. But it's always down to the interaction with everyone, and so therefore every show is special, every show is individual, and therefore unique. And I don't really have a favorite crowd here or there. And there's also one thing the guys from the Chemical Brothers once said: you can go to the same place twice and it's completely different. So therefore there's no such thing. It's just like phenomenal nights, and hopefully they just far more than the ones that are not so good. A lot of new music still. Like we are releasing right now, it's a collaboration with DJ Pierre Future. It's called Acid Tracks, and that's, by the way, is the funny logo and the artwork. And so I'm really proud of that collaboration. So that's coming out now, and it's just kind of being released. And there's like much more to come. It's like I think in the last 2-3 years I produced so much music. Like, it was like so much that sort of like just, was there to be produced from my side and to make. And there's a lot more to come. So if you like it, then I'm the happiest person that you listen to it.